Immigrating to Italy implies applying for a permanent residence before acquiring Italian citizenship. Who can apply for permanent residency in Italy in 2022? Permanent residency is available for both EU and non-EU citizens who have lived in Italy for the prescribed periods under the country's immigration law. Non-EU nationals have the right to apply for permanent residence permits after 5 years of continuously living in Italy, while for EU citizens the requirements are less stringent. They can apply for permanent residence if they intend to live in Italy for more than 90 days or 3 months. Permanent residence for non-EU citizens is also available under the Golden Visa scheme. However, this program targets wealthy individuals who want to move to Italy based on investments. The Residence by Investment program in Italy offers various advantages to the applicants. Types of residence permits in Italy. There are 2 types of residence permits which can be obtained in Italy: the temporary residence permit and the permanent residence permit. It must be noted that in order to obtain permanent residency in Italy, a temporary residence visa must first be obtained. The temporary residency visa must be obtained by non-EU citizens when first arriving in Italy. EU citizens must only register with the police department in the city they live in without being required to apply for a temporary residence permit. However, both categories of individuals must live for a minimum period of 5 years before applying for permanent residence in Italy. The residence permit can also be acquired by the spouse of the applicant, the parents of the applicant, the minor children of the applicant, children above the age of 18 if these can support themselves. In other words, the applicant is entitled to bring family members when relocating to Italy. However, the applicant must prove they have sufficient financial means to support themselves and their dependents, as well as submit proof of their relationship with the dependents. Only permanent residence permits can lead to Italian citizenship. The main ways of obtaining permanent residency in Italy. There are several conditions imposed on both EU and non-EU citizens interested in obtaining permanent residency in Italy. Apart from living for 5 years in this country, these must also prove they earn sufficient money to support themselves and that they speak Italian fluently and know the national customs. They must also have clean criminal records. There are several ways in which the Italian permanent residency can be obtained. Based on a work permit which entitles the applicant to live and work in Italy prior to applying for permanent residency. Based on a residence permit for entrepreneurs, which allows foreign citizens to start their own businesses here. Based on an investment in a specific domain of interest acknowledged by the Italian government. Based on a self-employment visa which allows the foreigner to act as a sole trader in Italy. Italian permanent residence for EU citizens. It is very easy for EU citizens to apply for a permanent residence permit in Italy, as they only need their valid IDs or passports when entering the country. In their case, a simple declaration of presence with the police station of the city they live in is sufficient. This declaration must be filed within 8 days from entering Italy. EU citizens have the right to apply for permanent residence permits after living for more than 3 months in Italy. It should also be noted that it may take up to 3 months for obtaining the Italian permanent residence. Applying for a permanent residence permit for non-EU citizens in Italy. Non-EU citizens must follow specific procedures when applying for permanent residence in Italy. Those who want to immigrate to Italy must inquire with the Italian embassy or consulate in their countries and ask information on the documents needed. Non-EU citizens must first apply for a temporary residence permit which is issued for a period of 5 years, followed by the application for the Italian permanent residence permit. In other words, a non-EU citizen must live in Italy for 5 years prior to applying for permanent residence. Documents required for an Italian permanent resident. The following documents must be filed by non-EU citizens applying for a permanent residence permit in Italy. Proof that the foreign citizen has lived in Italy for 5 years, the temporary residence permit, the registration certificate issued by the local police force upon entering Italy, proof of having a legal address in Italy, a rental contract or a recent utility bill, proof of means of self-sustenance, bank statements, tax returns, payslips issued by the employer, the criminal record and the application form issued by the Italian authorities. Restrictions for certain applicants for permanent residency in Italy. There are also categories of persons who cannot apply for permanent residence permits in Italy. These are usually students who come to Italy based on student visas, which permit a limited duration of stay. In the same category enter those who come for scientific purposes or for vocational training to Italy. Also, asylum seekers who in the process of obtaining recognition as refugees cannot apply for permanent residence until their status are clarified. Those who enter Italy for humanitarian reasons seeking temporary protection cannot apply for permanent residency in Italy. Those who have valid temporary residence permits and have not met the 5-year living requirement are also restricted for applying for permanent residency until the last requisite is fulfilled. The benefits of obtaining permanent residency in Italy. Obtaining the status of a permanent resident of Italy can bring many benefits for a foreign citizen. Among these, we mention the possibility of entering and exiting Italy without being required to apply for other visas. Also, foreign citizens can travel freely to other EU countries and can even work in such countries without being required to apply for a work permit. One is also entitled to state benefits, such as maternity or disability benefits. The last and perhaps the most important advantage is the possibility of obtaining Italian citizenship. In the case of EU citizens, the minimum period of stay is 4 years, while for non-EU citizens the minimum period of stay is 10 years based on the permanent resident status. Residence permits in Italy for corporate situations. Foreign investors who want to open a company in Italy can obtain a residence permit in specific situations. Foreigners may set up an Italian limited liability company following the legal procedures. At the same time, they may register a branch office or a representative office of a foreign company. In these particular situations, the legal framework stipulates that a representative of the foreign company may apply for an intercompany transfer residence permit. Investors may also obtain a startup residence permit, which was established under the local legislation for the registration of startup companies that provide innovative products or services. In this case, the minimum investment is established at €50,000. Persons who want to enter the Italian workforce can apply for a European Blue Card, issued for employees with a high level of skills in a designated field of activity. The applicant should provide evidence on a university graduation certificate. The Startup Visa for permanent residence in Italy. One of the main programs dedicated to non-EU citizens is the Startup Visa program, which was launched in 2012. Under this scheme, non-EU citizens can set up companies in Italy and relocate here, therefore, they will be able to both live and work here. The main requirement for qualifying for this program is to invest €50,000, however, the amount can be higher. Another requirement that does not have to do with money is for the company to operate in innovation. Among these, investments in research and development (R&D) activities are encouraged in Italy. The Startup Visa can be obtained by filing a business plan with the Evaluation Committee or by accessing it through a business incubator. The following documents must be filed with the committee in order to obtain a startup visa, which leads to permanent residence in Italy. An application form, the no impediment certificate, a cover letter providing for the funds to invest in the project. A great benefit of the startup visa scheme is that the application can be filed directly in English. If the applicant desires, he or she can also file in Italian. The Italian self-employment visa for foreign citizens. Entrepreneurs have another way of relocating to Italy, and that is by obtaining a self-employment visa. This type of residence permit is not difficult to obtain. However, in terms of requirements, one of the most important refers to securing contracts that allow for sufficient means of supporting oneself. Employment contracts can also be considered for this visa, which can lead to permanent residency in Italy. The Golden Visa Scheme in Italy. Non-EU citizens benefit from various means through which they can obtain permanent residency and even Italian citizenship if they want to. As a matter of fact, Italy is one of the friendliest countries in Europe when it comes to the facilities offered to third country individuals moving here. Its immigration policies include various integration programs supported by the government. Returning to one of the best ways of obtaining Italian permanent residency, we cannot skip the Golden Visa program, which requires a minimum of €500,000 to be invested in a startup business, €1 million if the investment is made under the form of a philanthropic donation. Real estate investment is also accepted, as long as the value of the property is €300,000 to €500,000. A minimum annual income of €100,000 of the applicant is also required. This program targets high net worth individuals who want to immigrate to Italy, and one of its greatest benefits is that it offers the possibility of owning real estate in this wonderful. The elective residence visa in Italy. Foreign citizens who want to retire and live permanently in Italy can apply for an elective visa. This type of residence permit is one of the simplest ways of immigrating to Italy. Among the requirements to fulfill in order to obtain an elective residence visa is to have health insurance worth €30,000. Foreign citizens who want to retire to Italy must comply with a few additional requirements, among which having a steady income of €31,000 per year. If a couple wants to move together to Italy, the minimum income is set at €38,000 per year.